Hello, my name is Michael Garrick, and this is the PoppinCulture podcast. My guest today is comedian Yuncle Boudreaux. Thank you so much for coming back to the podcast.
Glad to be back.
This would be our Valentine's Day episode. Yuncle and I are going to discuss some tips to keep romance going and also to get into relationships. Should be a lot of fun, and Yuncle, I'll let you start off.
Well, people don't look at me and think Casanova. I don't know why, but I just don't give off that vibe.
Okay.
All right? But I got a good-looking woman, see. You don't get a good-looking woman when you look like this unless you got a bunch of money, a bunch of equipment,
Yeah.
or you know something about romance.
Yep.
I chose the latter, see, because and I want to talk about just romance in general. Okay, it ain't rocket science, and it really ain't that daggum expensive to be romantic and to kind of keep the spice alive. And like I said, I'm probably isn't the atypical person to talk about this, but you've met my significant other. I refer to her on stage as the wife. She just ain't my wife. She's another fella's wife. But I know that sounds wrong. I get it. Don't judge me. You don't know the whole story, see. But I've got her and I've kept her, see. And I've done a good job at that. And I believe everybody I've been with, if we busted up, there's always reasons to bust up.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ain't never been from lack of romance on my part. And I believe every ex I've ever had would say that I had a pretty good game when it comes to being romantic. And I'm going to give some, I feel like some pretty good advice for this Valentine's Day. Hopefully this will go out a little bit before Valentine's Day.
Yep.
So that'll give you time to do things right. See, I look at the camera sometime, right?
Yeah, of course.
I'm new at this high-tech stuff, okay? But the main thing is to know that being romantic, it ain't rocket science.
No.
And this advice I'm going to give you folks today, if you don't love that person, I ain't going to be able to help you. I mean, if you're just looking for, a piece of tail or something, some of this will probably still work. But you got to really love this person, or else some of this is just ain't going to work for you, all right? And I'll tell you one of the things that I've jotted a few notes down. I want to be kind of prepared. I wrote it in kind of hieroglyphics, looks like. Well, it looks like I wrote it in. There's a verse in the Bible that says something about with your wife. It says, dwell with them together according to knowledge, which I think is a fancy way of saying you need to know that person. All right. So I'm going to ask you, Mike, I'm going to put you on the spot.
All right.
All right. About your significant other, your fiance, Katrina.
Oh, that's fine. If I answer wrong, I can always edit later.
Exactly. All right. Does Katrina collect anything?
Like I said, I can edit later. Not that I know of, no.
Not that you know of. All right. I'm looking around. I'm seeing, I know your audience can't see this. I'm looking at some of the artwork. Okay. Is there anything in particular that you notice that she gets every now and then? It's okay if you don't. How long y'all been together?
3 years.
Okay. You're okay. You're still learning. All right. So for the audience, what does she collect? What does he collect? What's he into? All right. I was head over heels in love with this girl. I ain't gonna call her name. She's passed away. She died a few years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and we weren't together. We had already went our separate ways. And but boy, I loved her. Oh, I was in love with her. And I meant to bring this little thing with me too. She loved ladybugs, not the real ones. Well,
Okay.
She's pretty fond of them too, I guess. But anything with a ladybug on it, she loved it.
Okay.
Decorative things, ladybugs. Well, because I loved her, this is why this goes into what I was talking about earlier. If you don't love the person, some of this ain't going to work.
Okay.
Because I loved her so much, I was keen on knowing what she liked. And anything ladybug, she absolutely loved it. All right. I could walk through the flea market. And this true story. True. Walking through the flea market one day, minding my own business, because that's what I do most of the time. I'm by myself. And I had, over on the side, there was this table, had a bunch of stuffed animals and pillows and just a bunch of stuff for a quarter a piece.
Okay.
So I'm walking by there, and I had to look over there. And under a bunch of other stuffed animals, I saw something red with a little black dot on it. And like Spider-Man's spider senses, I had a ladybug senses.
Okay.
Beep, 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 beep. And I knew what that was. I went over there and I moved some stuff out the way. It was a ladybug, a little stuffed ladybug, probably about the size of a softball.
Okay.
And it looked fine, cost me $0.25. I took it home, cleaned it up real good, made it look nice, dropped it in a bag, gave it to her. Now, the kind of loving I got that night you can't get for 25 cents. Okay? Now, I know it was just a 25-cent stuffed animal. No. It was a 25-cent ladybug. And she loved anything ladybugs. Now, I've also spent like $50 on I think it was $50 on a wreath to go on the front door.
Yeah.
That was kind of pricey. And it was red and black. For a wreath, I thought it was. Red and black, had little ladybugs all over it, stuff like that. Found a rock one day, little rock painted like a ladybug.
Okay.
I gave her once and jewelry with ladybugs on it, t-shirt with ladybugs on it. But because I loved her, it was like I'd walk through Walmart and I'd walk by the jewelry counter and it'd be a teensy little set of ladybug earrings that I couldn't have seen for all the grits in Georgia if I'd have been looking for them. But I just, at a glance, there they were because I loved her. See? And so I would and give her the gifts for no reason. That's what you guys and girls need to understand, is when you do it for no reason. There's a song, I think I may have mentioned it to you, Brad Paisley's song. I don't know if it got radio play, but it's called Love Her Like She's Leaving.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that song.
Oh, yeah. And part of the line, part of the core lyrics, it says, we cut the cake and everybody danced. Some people drank too much. You look like a picture in a Bride magazine, and I look like some guy in a tux.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when your Uncle Joe, I think it was, pulled up a chair and sat down and said, son, I've been married for 45 years, and he pointed at you through the crowd and said, love her like she's leaving, like it's all going to end if you don't. Love her like she's leaving, and I guarantee she won't. Then it says something along the lines of buying her flowers for no reason at all, little notes on the fridge every day. Those unexpected gifts at unexpected times will keep the lawyers away.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says, I know that you can take her love for granted when there's 10 cans tied to your car. I know that she tells you she'll always be there, but I'm telling you, if you're smart, you'll love her like she's leaving, like it's all going to end if you don't. Love her like she's leaving, and I guarantee she won't. I used to be in a ministry, and I performed weddings. And a part of my premarital, what you'd call, not therapy, but counseling.
Yeah, counseling. Yeah.
Was to listen to that song together. Because I thought it was so, important, that concept. When I think about things I've seen guys do and gals do to keep somebody they thought they were losing, well, hell, if you'd have done that before, you wouldn't be in this shape in the first place. What do they collect? What are they into? Find out what that is and invest in that. And I won't go into detail. I'm sure you're familiar with the 5 love languages. You ever heard of that term, the 5 love languages? Mm. Oh, well, I will delve into it a little bit. A fellow named Chapman, I think his name was, Gary Chapman, I may be wrong on that, wrote this book called The 5 Love Languages. And he in his book, he claims there's 5 ways people show love. Whether you're talking about romance between a couple, love for your children, your parents, your friends, your co-workers, there's 5 ways, and I hope I can remember them all. There's 5 ways you display love, only 5. One is by touch. And that's not necessarily sexual touch, it's just touch. One is by touch. One is by words of affirmation, the things you say. One is gift giving. One is just simply time spent. And the other, acts of service.
Okay.
That's it. Any other way you convey your love to anybody, whether it's your lover or your child, your parents, your coworkers, your friends, it's going to fit in there. Not everybody speaks the same love language. I'll give you an example. A fellow whose love language is gift giving. And he wants to get his wife a special gift. He goes out, spends a whole paycheck, maybe a paycheck and a half, on a beautiful diamond necklace or something like that. He takes it to her, and she likes it. She loves it. It's beautiful. But gift giving and receiving is not her love language. And you don't have to speak the same love language as your partner. for this to be applicable, okay? Gift giving may not be her love language. Her love language is maybe acts of service, okay? So he gives her an expensive gift. She gives him a kiss. She's grateful. All right. So that afternoon, he walks outside and sees where somebody wrote "wash me" in the dust of her minivan because it's dirty. So he gets out a bucket, puts some water in it, some soap in it, gets a brush and starts washing it. She looks out the window and sees him washing her car. She loved that necklace, but he's getting something special in the bedroom because he's washing that daggum car, because that's the love language. That's what triggered her, the acts of service. Now, that night, romance might get hot and heavy, and he may think it was that necklace, and it wasn't. And he washed the damn car. See, words of affirmation is another one. That would be my love language, words of affirmation. Nobody I've ever been with has ever wondered how I felt about them. Am I the best gift giver? No, probably kind of cheap. Now, when it comes to paying attention to what they like, I get them things I know they like because I pay attention. But acts of service, not really my thing. Words of affirmation, was mine. So when it comes to romance and so forth, now we mentioned this is going to be the Valentine. And I actually have 2 cards in my truck. I meant to bring them in. No big deal. Now, you're probably a pretty wordy guy. You have no problem saying how you feel about Katrina. Yeah. When we're comedians, we talk a lot.
Yeah, no choice.
No choice is what we do. All right, but a lot of people ain't like that. A lot of people, they don't have that gift of gab that me and you got, see. So when I buy a card, I know exactly what I'm going to write in it, and I'm going to share a personal poem that I wrote that I'm going to put out there for anybody who wants to use it. Anybody watching this, listening to this, if you want to use it, you can claim it for your own. I don't care. Just don't try to sell it for no money because I will sue you, okay? But you can tell your girlfriend you wrote it. Don't make me know, never mind. It's a funny little poem, but I like it. Now, you get the card. I got 2 out there right now. And by the way, fellas, ladies, you want a romance card? Don't go to Walmart or Hallmark. CVS, Walgreens. Last I checked, they are the best at romance. They got a whole section. They'll have a dozen or more cards just on romance. Some of them kind of saucy too. All right. Drugstores. That's where you go get your romantic cards. All right.
Condoms and gift cards. Yep.
Yeah. I went to the Walgreens one time, bought a box of condoms, and the cashier said, "Do you need a bag?" I said, "Hell no, she's pretty." Yeah. Anyway, it helps when there's an audience to laugh. Where the hell are you? Oh, it's just us. All right. So you get all the cards. Now listen, fellas, ladies, when you buy that card, okay, pay attention. Read the damn card. Don't buy a card and say, "Oh, that's pretty, I'm going to buy that card." And you didn't read the card, and the card says, "I'll never forget that magic night we met." When you know damn good and well y'all met at the scene of a car accident where 3 people was killed. You might want to think that through. Okay, make sure it's applicable. So you got these 2 cards. You don't know which one to buy. Furthermore, you ain't got a clue what you go write in them because you ain't slick like me and Michael here, see. You don't got a clue. Here's what you do. This is where the advice becomes very practical. You take your phone out. You figure out which card is the prettiest. That's the one you're going to buy.
Of course.
But the words are so good in both of them. So you take your phone, you take a picture of the one you're not going to buy. Then you go home and you write what's in that card in the card you bought.
Yeah.
She'll never know. Now, or this is even better, you buy both cards. All right, you go home, you take the limerick, the little lines, the poem that's in this card, you write it in this card. You take what's in the side of this card and write it in that card. You give the prettiest one to your girlfriend, your wife, your fiance, you give the other one to your side chick. Problem solved. If you have a side chick. You shouldn't have a side chick. It's wrong. Don't have a side chick. But if you got one, that's what you do with it, okay? Go ahead, hit me with it.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I just saw you on this one, but you got it.
Okay. You shouldn't have a side chick. But if you do, that's who you give that card to. But if you don't have a side chick, and a good man won't, you take that card, you stick it under your sock drawer. Hide it away for next year. Because either you're going to have a different girlfriend, we hope not, but you might, Or what are the odds she's going to remember that she read all that same stuff last year? Pretty slim. She don't know. So you've covered it. And then guess what? You buy Valentine cards once every 2 years. You save some time, okay? Card giving. This is important. This will help you now. Katrina watch these things?
Yeah.
I told Michael about this earlier, and Michael said, oh, yeah, I know about that. I'm going to do that myself, just in case you really didn't. You can edit all that out.
Oh, yeah.
Fellas, ladies, send your significant other a card in the mail. But what if we live together? Don't give a damn. Send a card in the mail. Put some perfume on it. Your perfume, your cologne, whatever. But what if Valentine's Day, it's going to get on Valentine's Day, I'm going to see her anyway. I'm going to pick her up for a date. I don't care. I'm telling you, that line in that song, that unexpected gift at an unexpected time. When she goes to that damn mailbox, and this goes for anybody. I don't care, male, female, gay, straight. From my view, I'm a straight male, so when I talk about me, it's a woman, but it works for anybody. I'm guessing. I don't exactly know how that other works, but I'm guessing it's about the same thing. So when he or she goes to that mailbox, advertisement, insurance bill, water bill, what the hell is this? And they open that thing up. Now you spent $3.99, $4.99 on the card, 45 cents on a stamp. And they open that thing, what is this? And they got that card from you. That's not expected. They expected to be on the dash of their car. They expected to be on the pillow. They didn't expect it to come in the mail. And for 49 cents or whatever a stamp costs, if she ain't worth that, then I refer you back to what I said at the beginning too. If you don't love her, then none of this is going to help you anyway. If you put that 49 cent whatever stamp on it, let her pick it out in the mail. It'll make a difference. I'm telling you, I've done it. They appreciate it because it came from out of nowhere. So Valentine cards, send it in the mail, get 2 cards. You can use that to write whatever, you want to write. Roses, okay? Are we okay on time?
Yeah.
Okay,
Perfect.
Roses.
Perfect on time. Yeah.
If your girl or guy tells you they don't like flowers, I don't believe it. Now, and even if they don't want flowers, they may not like flowers, but they gonna like getting them flowers, especially if they work in an office. Mm-hmm. That whole jealousy factor, they may not give 2 damns about getting flowers. But when them flowers show up, and all them girlfriends of hers or other co-workers, because guys get flowers sometimes, do not as much, but we get them. But I've found that in my experience, I've dated women that said, I don't like flowers. I don't want flowers. They want flowers.
Yeah, of course.
And if they don't want them, they want somebody to see they got them.
Yeah.
So that matters. Okay, so the flower thing. Now, I'm going to tell you a story. It's a true story. I worked with a guy named Maurice. We called him Mo.
Okay.
Valentine's Day was on a Sunday that year. He worked on the farm with me. He don't work there now. I'm not sure what Mo's doing now, but one day after work, Mo, he don't live but about maybe 3 or 4 miles from my house. He says, hey, Boudreaux, you mind giving me a ride home? I said, no, I don't mind. Save Erica, that was his wife. Save her from having to come out here and get you. So he said, you mind stopping by the small mart? That's what I call it, Little Walmart, the marketplace. I call it the small mart. So you mind pulling by there? I said, no, I don't mind. He said, you coming in? I said, no, I said, you going to get what you get. He goes in. This is the day after Valentine's Day, Michael. He comes out with a little stuffed teddy bear, about yay big, a card, and a dozen roses. I said, Mo, Valentine's Day was yesterday. He goes, I know. Please tell me that Erica was out of town and she's coming home today. Oh, no, she was home yesterday. I just forgot. I said, listen, if you buying Valentine gifts the day after Valentine's Day, it better be something with a carrot in it. And I ain't talking about a salad, okay? I said, let me help you out, Mo. Give me one of them roses. He goes, oh, no. I can't give you one of my roses. I got to give her a dozen roses. You got to give him a dozen. I said, you ain't got to give him a dozen roses. Give me one of them roses. He goes, no. I said, Mo, he's all right, fella. He wasn't all that terribly bright. I said, what you go write in that card, Mo? Love, Mo? He said, yeah, pretty much, something like that. I said, how about this? How about you give me one of them roses? I can't give you one of my roses, Boudreaux. I said, just shut up and listen to me. And this is what you write in the card. And I don't claim originality of what I'm about to say. This is from an old Hank Williams Jr. song from back before he fell off that mountain and got all rough and rebellious acting. I said, here's what you write in that card, Mo. I guess you've noticed there's only 11 roses. I chose them from the garden where they grew. Take the roses and look into the mirror, and the 12th rose will be looking back at you. Man, he pulled that rose out quicker than a hiccup, tossed it on my dash. He said, pull over, because we wasn't but a block from his house. Pull over, I got to write that down. So I pull over, and I'm quoting it back to him, and he's misspelling a couple of words.
Yeah.
I don't say nothing, because if he spelled all them words right, Erica would have known damn good and well he didn't write that, And I told him, I said, you take credit for it. I don't care. It ain't my song. It's somebody else's. But he said, well, what you gonna do with that rose? I said, I'm going to give it to my side chick. Just kidding. I didn't have a side chick. I took it to my girlfriend who had gotten her flowers on Valentine's Day. This was that bonus. Speaking of flowers, I'm going to circle back around to that. $30, give or take, will get flowers delivered to wherever your significant other works.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's about right. Yeah, about $30. Before the COVID hit, I'd call Devon's Flowers in Orangeburg. And a lady would answer the phone. I can't remember her name. That's been so long since I called her. And I'd tell her who I was. She'd say, I guess Miss Courtney's getting some flowers today, huh? They knew me. They knew what I wanted. They basically, whatever's the fresh thing, whatever. It didn't have to be roses. Screw that. Just something pretty. It didn't matter. And she was getting flowers about once every 3 weeks on a regular basis. And only stopped because of COVID, because they're not going to deliver stuff like that now, not like they did. So when you do that, you give those flowers. But for what? Was it for her birthday? No, it was because I happened to think about it. I'm going to get her some flowers. That gives you some credit. Gets you out of some damn trouble. See, in case you do something stupid, like go to Comedy Zone and stay out too late. You probably never did anything like that.
Oh, yeah, of course, plenty of times.
Oh, yeah. But see, you do the preemptive gift. Give some flowers, see? So the roses thing, that's a poem you can use. It's an old Hank Williams song, but put it in there. Give her 11 roses. Now, you shouldn't give the other rose to the side chick, but you probably got a daughter. You got a mama. You might have a secretary at work. Somebody you can give that single rose to.
Be careful when you give it to that secretary.
That's right. What he said. Be careful when you give it that secretary. That secretary better be twice your age and happily married. Yeah, if she's a smoking hot one, yeah, you don't want to do that. My point is, you can find something to do with it. Like I said, a daughter or your mom can always get that extra rose.
Your mom never go wrong on that one.
You never go wrong giving your mom. I sent my mom, I had roses delivered to my mama a couple years ago it was either a birthday or Mother's Day. I don't remember which it was. And my mom was 70. At the time, she's probably 72 years old. And said she never had flowers delivered. My daddy died when he was 36.
Okay.
So he wasn't a really romantic type much either, apparently, but at 36, But never had flowers given to her. Give your mama some flowers every now and then. So I mentioned a poem I wrote. This poem's a little funny, but I think it's good. I think it could go on a card. I'm going to give you folks out there, if y'all want to plagiarize this, it's all right. Just don't sell it for money, because I'll sue. Here it goes. You ready? It's called I Started It Too.
Okay.
I don't know why you love me, but I'm really glad you do. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably just a 2. But you say that I'm romantic, and at least I try to be. And if I can get a point for that, well, that makes me a 3. You say I'm quite the gentleman, the way I open up your door. And if I can get a point for that, well, that makes me a 4. You say that my charisma helps keep the spark alive. And for that, I should get a point, which takes me up to 5. You say that I'm quite handy when those broken things I fix. And if I can score a point for that, now I'm up to 6. You say that when the lights go out, the love we make is great. I'd like to think that's worth 2 points, which takes me up to 8. Well, if 8's as far as I can get, well, that'll be just fine. And for that, I've earned a humble point, which takes me up to 9. Well, 9 is not quite perfect, but I hope that will do. The way I see it, sweetheart dear, I started out at 2. It may not ever make a Hallmark card, but it's when I look at my girlfriend, it's sometimes how I feel. Nobody's ever looked at me and her and thought, how'd she get him? But they have done the other. Okay. And so I've always liked that little poem. It's just a silly little poem. It's a little self-deprecating, I guess, but that's always good in a relationship.
Yeah, of course.
You always want to do that. Let's see what else I got down here. I tell you what, I'll let you ask me. I got a couple little. These are kind of naughty points, not real nasty. Just a couple things I was going to mention. But any questions you have, or I want you to contribute.
No questions. For me, this is still new. Like, remember, I grew up Jehovah's Witness, so this, just giving somebody a gift, never depended on a day. Like growing up, it never depended on.
Because y'all didn't even do Valentine's Day either, did you?
Nah, it was just a weird thing because it's just like, I'm not gonna wait till the 14th. It was one of those things where like every holiday was like, I'm not gonna wait till, like even I know you celebrate holidays your whole life. I guarantee you most of the time you took your mother out the day before, the day after Mother's Day, just so it wouldn't be crowded.
Oh, absolutely.
So that was kind of like not the same way that I was when I was Jehovah's Witness, but it was just like if I could give somebody flowers literally the day after Valentine's Day, just because like prices go down dramatically. We didn't believe in holidays, so it's like, why would I not get something cheaper?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. So
and that also goes back to what I was saying about when you give the gifts for no reason.
Yep.
Then you're not paying that jacked up price for the roses.
Yeah.
Buying roses in February
is ridiculous.
That's crazy. June. Well, those same roses are going to cost maybe a third or a fourth of what you're going to pay in February.
Sure, you buy them in October, you buy them from cheap.
Oh, yeah. And, hey.
Not going to survive long, but you can get them for cheap.
Well, that's right. Yeah. But so the romance advice that I have, and that's kind of what this is just know the person, know what they like. And I still go back. That was the first thing I talked about, but I'll go back to that. Know what they like, and let them know you're paying attention to what they like. See, my girlfriend, she's into elephants. Now, she didn't tell me that. I just got to observing. She had a little purse, had a bunch of little colorful elephants all around it, and I got to noticing little things with elephants on it and stuff. So, I got her trying to think what. I don't know if it was a specific holiday or what, but I got her an elephant thing. It's probably some sort of a stuffed animal of some sort or something like that. Something very cheap. Again, it wasn't a Christmas present. It was just I think she likes elephants. I'm going to get that.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference. Just like with the ladybugs, with the one that had passed away a few years ago. Know the person, again, be creative with the card giving. Mail the card, not just the cards. If you got a gift, wrap a gift. Valentine's Day, whenever. Take the time. Get somebody you work with. Somebody knows how to do it real nice. Those little things. Now again, if you're just looking for a piece of tail, you're not going to think to put that extra effort in.
And I think you shouldn't put anything up until a certain level, because if you do that, they're going to make them think something more.
Explain.
If I buy you a diamond necklace out of nowhere, and my expectations is just ass, I'm putting too much on a pedestal. Like if I don't plan on this going any way further, I shouldn't put too much into. Like, I shouldn't make you think that we're going to be in a relationship. That's what I'm saying. Right.
Well, and most of this, I'm speaking to people that are consider this a relationship.
Exactly.
It's a thing, And I know we're going to talk in a little bit about the movie 50 First Dates, and I watched it today.
Me
after
too.
you and I talked.
Yeah.
I watched it, and I was just sitting here thinking, the kind of love this guy has for this woman, and not just the main character, the Henry Roth character, but Marlon and Doug, what they did for their daughter and their sister. It's sacrificial love. It's the kind of thing, you wonder, would I love my significant other enough to do what he's done? It's crazy. Now put the kids to bed. Send them away, because I'm talking about something a little bit naughty for just a second. Not real bad. You know me, I don't get too naughty anyway. Toys in the bedroom. My girl's a little younger than me.
Okay.
You wouldn't think she'd be risque. She said to me the other day, she goes, I wouldn't mind using some toys during hanky panky. You know how hard it is to have sex while you're playing with a slinky? I mean, I ain't got that kind of coordination. I can't do a yo-yo though. You can get that move just right with a yo-yo. But everything. No, seriously, what I'm saying is, be adventurous. Okay, don't be stupid. Okay, but pay attention to each other's needs. Those 5 love languages. Figure out what hers is, based on what I told you about the 5 love languages. I'll run through them again. Time. That's the easiest. That's just spend time with them. Just be there. They just want you to be there. Time, touch, and that ain't once again. That's not always sexual touch.
Yep.
Because remember, I talking about this is how you show love to not just your lover, your children, your parents, your coworkers. Okay. Think about if somebody at your job, where you work, gets a promotion, big promotion. Okay. You hear they're up for it, and you find out they got it. The next day at work, you're either going to give them a hug, a high five, a handshake, a pat on the back. That's touch. You're either going to tell them how happy you are for them and how they deserve this because they've worked hard. See? All right, so that's words of affirmation. Okay? Or you're going to get them something. You're going to get a mug that says world's greatest, whatever the hell they just got promoted to being. You see what I'm saying? Or you may want to take them to lunch.
Yeah.
Or whatever. You spend time with them. You know, it's those same things. And this is Valentine's Day, fellas, ladies. You know, learn what their love language is. So with that said, what would you say Katrina's love language is? What do you think she either responds to best out of those 4?
Oh, just time.
Just time. She just wants you to be there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Now, what about Michael Garrick? What?
Same, just time.
Just be there.
Yeah, because it's just easier, man. You know, just you can replace everything else. You can't really replace time.
That's right. They don't make no more of it.
No.
So that's a good answer. That's a good answer. And to me, it's the easiest. I say that. I don't know. I don't know if that's the easiest for me. I mean, it's easy just to be there and not have to go buy anything. Not about being cheap or anything. That's not it. Because again, 25-cent stuffed animal.
Yeah.
You know, I probably got the best romantic response, if you know what I'm talking about, over that. She melted over it. She never asked me where I got it, you know, because that same little stuffed animal probably cost $14 at the Hallmark store.
Probably, yeah.
Cost me 25 cents. And a little time to, dress it up a little bit. I blow dried that son of a bitch. I, cleaned it up real good, fluffed it up. Yes, ma'am. Dropped it in a gift bag. The gift bag cost more than the damn stuffed animal did. So yeah, know the 5 love languages, and you can get and there's a book called the 5 love languages, but you can just Google the 5 love languages, and it'll give you like a condensed version of what they are, and then look at that person you're with, and then ask yourself, what is she going to respond? What is he going to respond to the best out of those? Because a lot of times relationships, and with my first marriage. I'm convinced that had we both really understood that concept of the love languages, we may have stayed together. Now she's happy now, and I'm happy now. We don't fight anymore. We don't hang out.
Yeah, of course.
But at the same time, I look back and I think I wish there's concepts about the 5 love languages I wish I had known. That I didn't know then, because sometimes relationships bust up, couples break up, and they still love each other, and they're showing love, but you got that fresh phileo love, that physical, that sexual love. Apparently, that gets old.
Yeah, of course. Everything new has to get old.
Well. Yeah, I was just told recently that's getting old. I didn't think it ever got old. But anyway, you see what I'm saying. So when that goes away, you got to have something else to replace it with.
Yeah.
You got to know what's next. And I think that, understanding, because you may think, well, she doesn't tell me how handsome I look, or she doesn't tell me how funny my last show was, or she doesn't, tell me, well, that might not be her thing, but remember that great meal she cooked for you the other day, or, whatever that thing she did, that with my girl, she's kind of like, she's got this thing, agoraphobia, where it's like a fear of being around people, crowds of people.
Okay.
I've got angoraphobia. That's a fear of fuzzy sweaters. That's a joke. But she doesn't like being around crowds. When she comes to one of my shows, that's a big deal. Not because she doesn't think I'm funny, because she's always, she's got a tremendous sense of humor, and we laugh so much, and we do these funny voices when we talk to each other. You would think we were kids, still kids. But so she likes my humor, the little songs I write and stuff. I'll sit in the living room. She'll come into the kitchen. I'll say, hey, babe, listen to this. And I'll sing her a little song. She'll, oh, that's funny. What a great time. But the effort to get dressed and go out and be in a crowd of people that she doesn't know, that speaks volumes. But now let's say you're with somebody that's a social butterfly, that loves to be out in a crowd of people. She would be out there whether you were performing or not. She just wants to be out there.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But for me, when I see that, if I was with somebody that was that way, I wouldn't view that as a big sacrifice or a big expression of her love for me, because she loves being out in this crowd. She loves the music, the dance, and the people. But with my girl, I know the fact that she says, I'm going to be at your show this week. That's a big deal. That's better than a big gift or a bunch of money spent or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, but I hope the advice, I know the thing about the cards is a little hokey, but I hope some of you guys will sit there and think, well, maybe I should put a little more effort into this thing. Maybe I should care a little more.
I realize how easy it is.
How freaking easy it is. $30. Now, I don't know how, it's kind of hard to get flowers delivered these days because of COVID and everything. So let me walk that back a little bit and just say, it's not rocket science. And it's not something you got to have a stockpile full of money to make it happen. Think simple, unexpected gifts at an unexpected time. Shelly Belly does a bit about the text messages from her husband, Jason. And she does a funny bit about the whole taking the pictures and stuff. But she starts the story off by talking about how he sends her text messages every day. I love you. I hope you have a nice day and all this stuff. The stuff you do when you first start dating, people quit doing it. Somehow they think, that it doesn't matter. I meant to turn that off. I'm sorry. That stuff doesn't matter as much later, but it does. It does matter. And then they wonder, well, what happened to our relationship? Well, what happened was you forgot. You forgot how much you loved her. You forgot all the attention and the things that you used to do that used to be second nature, that now it just doesn't click. But so it all goes back to, do you really love this person? If you love them, then by God, put forth the effort. I'll just hit my high points again. What do they collect? What are they into? Take interest in those things. It's going to mean watching a romantic comedy every now and then. And I don't like them, Michael. I'm not a rom-com guy at all. But I love the movie we're going to talk about here in just a little bit. That one's it's a different kind of movie. But that's all I really had. I hope I didn't disappoint you. I told you I was going to prep for this thing, but I think I've given some pretty good advice mixed with a little bit of humor.
I think you nailed it. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans?
Well, I appreciate you watching on this podcast. It's the only podcast I've ever done is Michael's here, and honored to get to do it for the second time.
Thank you, buddy.
Look me up on I'm on Instagram and TikTok at Yuncle Boudreaux. That's Yuncle with a Y, Yuncle, Boudreaux, Boudreaux. So it's at Yuncle Boudreaux on Instagram, at Yuncle Boudreaux on TikTok, YuncleBoudreaux.com, and Yuncle Boudreaux on Facebook.
And YouTube.
And I got a YouTube page as well.
Yes.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening, and have an amazing day.